All right. So, first of all, welcome to the next era of Live with emails. And one of the big changes of this era came about from me doing a small amount of thinking, namely that voice typing is just the best. Because see, what I realized was I was talking with Majesty of Reason, and he sent me like a voice message. It was like 5 minutes or something, and I put it through my voice typing machine, aka my computer, because I was like, well, I might as well record this down so I can see what he's saying and make sure I understand him and all that jazz. And then I was basically like, this was so fast and so efficient because literally every single word he said was correctly interpreted by at least the voice typing software I have, which means that it's not like the software is bad if something is wrong. It's that I can't, pronunciate correctly. So, yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a realization. But anyway, the point is, we're now using voice typing. This makes my thought, right? Like, if it's the case that I don't say something clearly, then it's good for the voice typing thing to be like you erred, because then hopefully I can fix it and be my diction better, hopefully eventually. And second, like this will save me so much time. Like holy cow, typing out like 10 bazillion thousand words all every well historically month in this case week will take me ages. But just talking is super fast and efficient, and it types it in a super fast and efficient way. So yeah, basically. Oh, and plus I get to do the recording at the same time, so double bonus. Anyway, so this is my new plan. We're gonna see if it works. The only unfortunate thing is Joe's no longer here. He doesn't exist anymore. Well, he still exists, but he doesn't exist relative to me in a particular sense. Therefore, if I err, he can't fix it. So you guys are gonna get very raw footage. Have fun. Okay, so after the last live demo that was all like climactic and endy, I woke up the next morning. I was like, oh yeah, the trip's over, and it felt like a bit different, but still good. And I was like, yay, but also kind of like a little bit sad. And so I did my first post trip quiet time, and then we all just kind of cleaned and packed as the day went on because, we had to leave the Wade's cabin and keep it well and nicely ordered. Plus, leaving it better than you found it's always a good practice. So we did that, and we had to wait for the washers to finish, and then Joe and Green had like this super long staring contest. Holy cow. I gave like a commentary on it, and it was great. Beautiful time. Anyway, we then packed up and left the cabin. Me and Noah in one car, and then Joe, Corinne, and Caleb in another. And yep, once I got back, I gave Mom a very long and large hug, which she was happy about. And then I unpacked and just kind of like took a shower and stuff before eventually going to the Myers house, which was pretty soon after. And yeah, it was good to just be back at home. And I was like, ooh, my Phoenix, and oh, my Legos, and look at my books. And yeah, it was great. And my dungeon. Oh, I love my dungeon. My dungeon is beautiful. It is dirt that is beauty. Therefore, beauty dirt. Beauty is dirt. There we go. New paradigm for the age. Anyway, yep, it was good to be home, and then left for the Myers, and it was a good time. We had very good food. I very much like those meatballs. We played some spike ball, which was fun. Good to be on. I mean, I guess I wasn't really on a team with Benj before that, so yeah, good to be on a team with Benj. And yeah, I also got to play some Lego with Seth, which is where I tried something new, because I was like, I always build a thing, but what if I didn't build a thing, but merely attached a thing? So basically, what I did is I used tension, which I'd never done this before, to keep Lego pieces together instead of actually like clicking studs together and stuff. It was actually a really interesting experience. So yeah, that was fun. Let's see. I then had a brief conversation with Jake about the Eucharist as well as Soul Scriptura, which was very good, and I hope we get to have more of those. But if not, that's all good. And then I got home. And once I got home, I was like, kind of like, I'm still energetic, so I went on a run, and that was really nice. I went around City Park. I don't know how fast I went because I didn't time myself. I should have done that. And then I was like, okay, I need to focus, and then I finished unpacking, and then try to get credit card stuff working because I'm super poor right now. And what I found out is that if you, just join a credit card, then they're like, we'll pay you $200. Oh, hold it. Voice typing just died. So I'm going back a tiny amount of time. And normally this would be skipped because Joe would edit it, but no. Unfortunately, that is not the case. If you join a credit card like thing, then you'll actually get paid a ton of cash because they're like, you joined us, yay! And so I was like, well, if I could just find some credit cards to join, but that's surprisingly hard. Oddly enough, they did not want me. They kept rejecting me, and it was sad, but it was fine. I got over it. So yeah, that was how I ended the night. The next day, I woke up. I then took a lovely cold shower to start my day, but I did not go on a run. I then drove over near Horsetooth with Mom, and we talked, and it was good. Talked about some important things, which I will not share, but they were significant. And then I cleaned the mini fridges that we found, and Dad found one for me, and then me and Mom found another one, which took actually a lot of time. And man, one of them like was full of cigarettes and smelled so bad. But yeah, clean mini fridges because I'm going to be buying my own food from now on. It's part of my choice new growing up responsibilities. But that's expensive. Oh gosh, that's been a pain so far. But anyway, clean those up, put those in the room, and then I went to go donate plasma, which was a very poor experience because I was not hydrated at all, and I almost passed out. And they were like, ah, and I was like, ah, and it was great. So that was poor, but you know what? Oh well. Um, and then after that, Grandpa came over, saw him, it was cool. Oh, and then Neo came over, and we played Magic, and that was nice. Although we didn't actually talk about anything, it was just kind of like, well, let's just play Magic and hang out, and that was a good time. But I was kind of expecting him to be like, what happened? But nothing happened, so that was fine. But I really did enjoy our Magic games. It was fun to play with him again. Um, After that, I then tried to get Venmo to work because that's been a pain. They've suspended my account for. I actually don't know the reason. Originally, I thought it was because I purchased Magic cards through Venmo, but I don't think that's actually the case. They were like, "We think your bank account's sus," and I was like, "But my bank account's not sus." And they were like, "We still think it's sus." So over the last ages, I've been trying to fix that, and it didn't work. And yeah, that was a lame way to end the day because I was just like, this is frustrating. The next day, I woke up before my alarm, did a lovely quiet time. I then picked up Grandpa and took him to the airport. So I woke up early for all this because I was taking Grandpa to the airport. And we got to chat some as we drove there. Although mostly it was just talking about his experience and time with the Georgia people for his school that he owns part of. And yeah, I took him to the airport. It was good. Nothing problematic there. And then because I was already in Denver, I was like, "Hey, Michael," because Michael moved to Denver recently. "You want to hang out?" And he was like, "Yeah." So I went over and drove to him, and we hung out at McDonald's and chatted and caught up, and that was good. I enjoy seeing him. Um, After that, I went back to town, and like I had this all planned out, where I had ordered my groceries. It just so happened I ordered them in perfect time so I could hang out with Michael, and I was gonna pick them up, right? So I go down to Walmart and I like get ready to pick them up. And I sit there. I sit there longer, and I just keep sitting there. And I'm like, man, they're taking ages. My order is really small. I'm surprised they're taking so long. And then I like after waiting for actually 50 minutes, I'm like, okay, something's probably up. Which shows you that I'm not very intelligent because I should have noticed before 50 minutes that something was probably up, given like everyone that had been there had cycled through like twice by now. But I was like, nah, I'm just gonna give them some time, you know. Just I don't want to go too hard. I don't want to complain. Just give them an easy time. Don't make it hard. And then what I realized was I ordered the wrong Walmart. Ah. So, with like 10 minutes to go before I was supposed to pick up my order, I was like, oh shoot! And I drove to the Walmart and I got it all sorted out and it was a pain. So yeah, that was a lame experience because I was like, well, I just wasted 15 minutes that day. I should have at least read something. That's something I want to do. I want to do something productive in my waiting time because that was just a waste. It was lame. But yeah, that was a whole debacle. And I did eventually get my groceries, which was nice. And my groceries consist of like 7 different kinds of sauce and then rice and beans. Oh, plus bacon and waffles, I guess. So my plan right now is to eat tuna, because I bought tuna recently, rice and beans, and then just put like sauce on it. Because let's be honest, what makes a meal good? Answer: sauce. Therefore, if you buy the cheapest possible but technically nutritious meal and you just put tons of sauce on it, it should be like a great meal by all logical analysis. So that's my plan, and so far it's working out okay. Chick-fil-A sauce, very good. Okay. After that, I then hung out with John, who took me out to Canes, which is really nice of him, and it was really good to see him, and then Braden as well. Good to see them again. We just hung out at his house. We got some D&D stuff sorted out, and then played some magic battles. Braden fought my blue deck, and it was great. He got ultra crushed, and he has like a really overpowered deck, but blue is just gross. So yeah, that was very fun. Um, and yeah, that was basically how it lasted. And then I went to bed at like 11:30 because I've decided not to stay up till like 3 anymore. Yeah. I then woke up and had a big breakfast with all the sauces because I had groceries now. I then went to CSL again and was kind of nervous this time because the last experience was really unpleasant. But I like hydrated and made sure to eat a lot, and it was great. I then talked with Tris, aka Toby, my cousin, and they are going through some gender stuff, which yeah, is a whole deal. But I got to catch up with them. That was really good, and it was definitely good to hear their perspective on life. And then I made some rice, which actually is kind of time consuming. I need to get like an Instapot or something. Well, once I have money. Before I was like, well, I have an hour to kill because I agreed to go to the youth group thing because Benji invited me, and I was like, that sounds fun. But I was like, what am I gonna do in the meantime? And it turned out Caleb invited me earlier to go over and play Brawl with him and Joe. So I was like, sure. I did that, and that was actually super great. Like the muscle memory sticks in you. It's surprising how much I could just get back into it after not playing for actually ages. It was a really good time. I think we were all like pretty well matched and had some good moments, and I just really enjoyed it more than usual. So yeah, that was good. And then went to the youth group kickoff, which was a great time. Like tons of fun, lots of water, whipped cream battles. Me and Johanna just went at it. There was like full on war. And then Karina started squirming. Like, what are you doing? I did nothing to provoke her. Nothing. This is just unrational. No, not unrational. What's the word for uncaused, but in a war sense? Unprovoked. That's pretty good. Yeah, unprovoked violence. I don't know. Yeah, they just attacked me. Benj helped me though. He's my guy. He teamed up with me. And yeah, it was a good time. We did get to have some good Spikeball games. That was fun. Me and Benji got to beat up lots of people. That we did not beat Ty and Sam left-handed. Unfortunately, we just got close. So I think our game has gotten a little less good, or they got better. But we'll get it back there. We'll get it back there. And yeah, I then decided to go to the Myers house after that because I wanted to pick up my magic cards and weigh myself. Oh, and here's some pictures of me with the two comparisons. The first before and the after stats according to Karina's scale. And then, on the way back, I raced Benj off the line. And I was beating him at the start because I have my whole, quick start technique that I spent 10 seconds researching. But then his car accelerated beyond mine, so that was super sad. Yeah. So, let's see. I then went to the Myers house, just hung out for a tiny bit of time, weighed myself, and then went home. And then I watched some Vivi Floridize with Annalise, Grace, Caleb, and Ben, which I think everyone really liked it because it's a really good anime. I definitely recommend it as an anime. And then, yeah, after that, I basically was just like, well, it's late. I'll watch a Majesty of Reason video and, like, write my questions down, and then I'll go to bed. So I did that. The next day I woke up, and I almost went on a run, but then I didn't because my phone kept smacking against my leg, and it was getting painful. Which I know is an odd and kind of lame reason to not run, but you know what? It was real. It's not fake. It's a real reason. And yeah, then I did quiet time, which was good. I then went and had coffee with mom, and then I went over to CSU and got my CSU ID printed out, which is handy, before doing like a little tour of their gym, which is a nice gym, but still might be kind of expensive for me. And let's see. After that, I did a lot of magic, but not magic with people, magic with myself. Because see, the day before, right, Braden and John were like, "Look at our overpowered, awesome decks," and I was like, "Okay, but that's because you paid hundreds of dollars for your cards, and probably looked up how to make these decks, and you know, decided to not abide by weird arbitrary restrictions like monocolored and no artifacts, all jazz." So I was kind of like, "Ha, okay, fine. I'm going to show them that I can make a god deck if I tried, that I've been limiting myself." And so I then decided to spend the next like 5 hours looking through every ETB magic card available on the internet and making hypothetically a god deck. We'll see. It'll ship here in like 3 weeks, but I spent a lot of time working on that deck. And yeah, my brain kind of hurt after that because I just stared at a screen for ages, and so I went over to the Myers and played more Magic with them before coming back and then finishing up making my Magic deck. So it's just a Magic full day, and then I decided that I don't want any more Magic in my life because that was way too much Magic. So hopefully I'll do less of that soon, recently, now. The next day, I bought some more food because we're going camping. I got Venmo to finally work, which was fantastic because I was actually running out of cash in my bank account, and now I have like $80 more because I see. Does anyone ever like hide money in their wallet, but then forget that they hid the money in their wallet or other places? Because that totally happened to me. Like I took this like wad of 220s that made super small and like stuff in the back pocket of my wallet that you can't access easily, and I was like just messing around with my wallet, and something fell out. I was like, money, and it was great. It was like Christmas, but yeah, it was kind of funny. Uh, Hold it. I'm gonna see if my text to translator is still working. Eh, boop, because it froze. It's thinking. which means I get to talk to you. This is why audio people get the better experience because they get more content, more of me. I know you're so blessed, clearly. Okay, my audio thing's like I have translate for you 4 pages of words. What do you want from me? And you know what? That's a fair thing to be. I can understand that. Oh, uh, oh, where did I stand up? I was actually out of cash. You know what? No one else is gonna get that lovely little anecdote about the fact that I hit cash and forgot about it. Yeah. Anyway, to continue. So yeah, I was liberated by my access to venue, which was great. And then I conversed with Majesty of Reason via Messenger, which is fantastic. That guy's just a god. And then we drove, me and Ben, and it was a really good drive. I actually enjoyed the drive quite a lot. And we saw this spectacular rainbow. Oh my gosh, like top tier, probably a 10 rainbow. Like it's at least a 9 point. It was a high rainbow. Like it was a double rainbow. You could see the entire rainbow, and the rainbow went so far as into the ground. Like probably a 10 rainbow. I've never seen a better rainbow. Spectacular rainbow. Anyway, very good. We then arrived at the campsite, which ended up being at the ranch because Ben and Caleb went to the original spot we were planning on going, and it was like very lame. So they decided to go to the property that their family owns, and it was way better. Fantastic spot. Like they had a cool fire put set up. There was rocks that were naturally around it. There was a creek nearby. Like great spot. And they did some work on it the day before because they were there for a day before us, and yeah, it was really good. And yeah, then we set up a mini projector Ben has on the sheet that we hung up, and we watched Hunt for the Wilder People, which was a good experience. It was a little bit funny because the sheet would like wave in the wind a little bit, and there would be like a warp on the screen, but it was good. Definitely a good time. I was really tired by that point though, so I only kind of half watched, and I had a sideways view. So yeah. Anyway, the problem was that night I got garbage sleep. It was solid sleep, like it was uninterrupted, but it was like 3 hours, 3.5 hours, something like that. So I felt tired the entire day thereafter. So just everything I'm about to say after this, just preface with super tired and groggy. So yeah, I basically just kind of woke up at like with the sun at 6, went to bed at like 3 because the movie went till 3, and I was like, well, I don't want to get up, so I'm just gonna listen to some Celtic Women and sit here and close my eyes. So I did that for like an hour or something, and then after that I was like, well, I still don't want to give up, so let's listen to a Pints of Aquinas podcast about a Navy SEAL officer. So I listened to 100, not 100, an hour and 30 minutes of that. Then I was like, okay, I should probably get up. And so I got up, I made a fire, and just kind of hung around, and then everyone else woke up. And then I went to go pick raspberries because everyone else was like, let's landscape. And I was like, well, we could, but I am super tired, and I don't want to do physical labor in this state. So I decided to go pick raspberries instead, which was actually still really hard. Like, there's a surprising amount of effort you need to put in to pick raspberries. There was wild raspberries at the property, which was really cool. But they were actually just a pain to get to, and also a pain to pick. Like they're just few and far between. I did not come back with that many raspberries for the amount of time I spent. But yeah, that was decent. I listened to Celtic Women while doing that. And you can't tell I'm on a Celtic Women thing because I'm trying to get to know Celtic Women super well, and I'm getting there. I know almost all their songs, I think. And yeah, basically I came back with my raspberries, and then I just kind of wandered up and down the stream that was nearby, not doing much, just being like zombie mode. And then Ben was like, we need flat rocks. So me and Ben were like, okay. And we hauled flat rocks to him, which made a tiny little seating area later on, which is cool. And then I just kind of rested in my hammock, like almost slept, but I didn't sleep because I was super tired. And then we decided to go out to the hot springs. Before that, we went and got some food at a restaurant where I saw the most stressed waiter I've ever seen. Like that guy was stressed. Like yeah, he it was an interesting experience. It was almost like the food was fine. It wasn't great. It wasn't horrible, but the experience was good because that guy was like a novelty. It was like seeing an animal at the zoo, where it's like, look at this stressed specimen, and I do feel bad for him, partially, but I also just feel glad I got to see him. So, yeah. Anyway, yep. After that, we then got to these lovely hot springs, which was good. However, there were a bunch of guys all just chilling, smoking marijuana, so that was kind of interesting. Uh, they offered us some smokes on their joint, but we were like, no, I'm afraid we don't smoke. It was kind of funny. But yeah, we just kind of hung out with them for a while until they and these other group that came down were like, and we're done. And yeah, then we had the hot springs all to ourselves. And the hot springs were like a perfect temperature, like a little over lukewarm, which is great because they're the perfect temperature for staying in forever. Like normally when I go to hot springs, I have to get out, get back in because it's so hot. Do that for a few times. But with these, I like had to do that like twice, and it was great. The stars were the worst, and the conversations didn't really happen. I think that's partially my fault because I was just super tired. I was like, I'm dead. But yeah, it was a good time. Good hot springs. I was just super dead. And then we drove home, and I slept on the. Well, I didn't sleep. I rested in the back of the car. And once we got back, I like just got in my hammock and fell asleep right away because I was super tired. And then finally, as for today, I woke up and I felt way better because I slept like 8, 9 hours, which is fantastic comparatively. And even though my body was still really tired, and we all packed up, and then we just kind of drove home. And I had really good conversation with Ben. It was very bueno. And yeah, got back home, took a shower, which was fantastic. Oh, I discovered we stopped before we got home. We stopped at Vern's and we got cinnamon rolls, and I discovered that sugar, like intense amounts of sugar, has been hurting my stomach, and it might just be because I've like not been eating it for ages, but it's weird. Like I actually get like stomach pain, and it happened before at the hot spring where I was eating a Reese's, and I ate the Reese's. I was like, that was really tasty. I want to eat another Reese's, and I was like, I feel bad. So that might be a thing now. I don't know. That's weird. Anyway, I took a long shower, and then I watched an anime movie with the fan to relax, and then I started doing this. And that's the tale of it. Start to the finish. So yeah, that's all I have to say. And I bid thee all adieu.